find the truth, find me in you, a truth beyond. You may see now who we are one, be more good about. No matter who, what you call yourself, where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Wise and unfold, embrace and let go, trust control. There's a beauty in love when you follow your heart. Together we belong, and we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself, where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are.
Welcome here. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Ocala. I am Reverend Cindy Grimes, the inspirator of this center, and I just want to welcome you all this morning. Hope you feel nice and cozy and warm in here. Everybody loving the weather? Yes, yes. How many first-time visitors do we have today? Fabulous, fabulous. Welcome, everybody. Take note, make our visitors feel extra special today. We appreciate your presence. There's so many places that we could all be on a beautiful Central Florida morning. I mean, come on. And you're coming here, but I'm telling you, it's going to be worth your time. Can y'all, the rest of you who've been here before, you know that's true, right? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about who we are. So first of all, our vision right now, our vision is going to be revisited because I've been in the pulpit now for 10 years. And it's time. We've got a new community and we want to make sure everybody is still on board. And maybe it will be the same vision again. I don't know. But for now, this is what it is. We are a model center for spiritual living as evidenced by the transformational impact we have on our spiritual community, on the larger Centers for Spiritual Living organization, and the community at large. Right? That means that our vision and why we exist is to make your lives better, all of us as a community. We want to live our very best lives, and then it ripples out from us to the lives that we touch, right, in our neighborhoods, in our families, in our workplace, and those lives get better, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. Are you all up for that? Okay, so the other thing that this tells you is when we say we are a model for Center for Spiritual Living, that's to say that there are other centers for spiritual living all around the world. In fact, we've got a couple of friends here now from Tampa, right? From the Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, we are one of those organizations. And so you can find Centers for Spiritual Living all over the place, and you can also find us online. And then our mission is to empower individuals to awaken to the power and presence that lies within and all around us so we can live our very best lives. And what that is saying is that this power and presence that some people call God, call it creator, call it the universe, call it whatever you want, it doesn't matter what you call it, it exists. And we are all part of that. That means that sitting right there in your seat, where you are inside of you, you are the presence of Spirit itself. The eyes, the ears, the hands, the feet, the voice, the heart of God itself. And that's a beautiful thing. Take a look around at one another and how Spirit can express in such beautiful and unique ways as each one of us. So that's our mission, to wake people up to the truth of that. That's why we are here. And so our values, we'll be redoing our values as well. I have a feeling they're going to be very similar. But here we go, and you're welcome to say them along with me. Spiritual growth and practice, love, appreciation, community, freedom, creativity, health and wholeness, generosity, and financial well-being. Excellent. You did those all really well. Let's see. And so, the time for you, Miss Donna. I'm going to invite one of our practitioners, Donna Davis, to pray us in and then lead us with some music.
Good morning. So I just recently got back from Jamaica, and the Rastafari culture is fascinating and wonderful. And so what they say is grand rising, because you rose from the seeming dead to come back here to say, I'm awake again. I am in gratitude for being awake again. Well, my granddaughter says that. When she wakes up, I kind of wake up and go, I'm awake again. And I stretch my body and I reacclimate to the form again and then come back here. And so thank you for doing that and for bringing your form into your vehicle at the price of gas to be in this room, right? It's a huge feat to make that decision to be in this room with these people today at this point of history, where we may breathe into the ocean that is the oneness together. How cool is that, right? And we are talking about connectivity today. We are talking about that oneness. And so in Centers for Spiritual Living, what we do is affirmative prayer. We call it a spiritual mind treatment, because we are treating your mind to see something that is already there. We are not praying to some deity that's going to now look down on you and grant you wishes. That is not at all how it works. It works because it's already there. You just have to line up to the vibration that is it to then be able to see it. You buy a yellow car, you now see yellow car everywhere. That's how it works, right? The same make and model, right? Crazy. Never heard of that make and model before, and now all of a sudden you see it. Yeah, let's activate that. So we are going to go into the spiritual mind training right now as we do affirmative prayer. Breathe with me as we speak into this moment. There is just one life, one power, one presence. This oneness moves and has its being in and out and through all things. It is the inside, the outside, the up, the down. It is the circle. It is not the circle. It is this planet is beyond anything that my human understanding can even touch right now. This oneness is intelligent and symbiotically moving itself all at once. Perfection, divine energy that holds it all together. I acknowledge it as I stand on the stage today, then I too am in that oneness. Breathing in the essence of the oneness, breathing out the essence of love of the oneness. As the trees breathe in my carbon dioxide and breathe out the oneness back to me, the same thing is happening in this very room. Every heartbeat lending to the vibration that is life on the planet, all at once, symbiotically moving with intelligence, perfectly designed. And so I know that because I'm a part of the oneness, everything that is the oneness also exists where I am standing. The love that is the oneness is also me. Joy is me. Right action is me. Clarity, that is me. Symbiotic movement is also me. I know if it's true for me, it's true for every other living thing that exists now and ever shall exist. We are also that which is the perfection of divine energy, moving, making decisions, being in our human form, living our human story. And as we look back and see the footsteps that brings us forward to this moment in time, we are in joy for every single moment, every unfolding that happened to bring us here. Gratitude for the oneness, gratitude for each other, gratitude for the earth and the unfolding of life itself. Gratitude for the next heartbeat. I breathe into that space of receiving, of oxygen, and I say thank you. Thank you to life. Thank you to love. And I release it now into that fertile field of all-knowingness, knowing that it's already done. And together we say, and so it is. So we go into the next moment, which is music. I want to tell you something about music. As a nurse, I use music as medicine. And Joyful Expressions, I will invite them up now to come and join us. These people give me medicine by playing with me and hanging out with me and singing with me and upping my level of consciousness in the world. Music does this on a level so powerful that sometimes you don't even know what they're saying in the lyrics, and yet it just breaks something inside of you. This artist, we actually come upon this young man because of a place called Posse. So Posse music is positive music. It's a genre within New Thought where different New Thought communities have musicians who they submit songs or they are nominated for the songs that are making a difference in the world. These people are using this music to touch things that people sometimes just can't put words to. And so this young man, when we found him, he became a Posse Music nominee. And when we had the opportunity to present music today, we thought, why not show you something that we do to regulate? So as a nurse, I regulate my nervous system using drums, the heartbeat. I use sound and vibration. The sound bath is one of the main medicines I give to people. And it's just meditative music and sound. We are currently in a sound bath all the time. If you just stop talking for a moment and listen, you hear the sound bath. He's laughing. He's like, man, you know. And those who practice that sense of awareness, you know who you are. You are the ones that walk in that space of always in peace, right? You just get it. The sound just washes over you. I invite you, if you are having an issue with anything like that, get you a drum, get you a saucepan, ask any child the top of a desk, the top of your leg, and drum. It'll help your nervous system come back into the truth, which is the life that is you, moving and having its beingness. So music medicine today. We are going to do meditative drumming. I'm going to put my locks up because it's one of the ways I close off that crown chakra just a little bit. Y'all going to be projecting some stuff at me. So, and we are going to watch this video, and it's a heavy video. So we kind of asked that the munchkins can go in the back just for a moment. Is that a possibility, or would you like to stay? I'm talking to you. Yes, one of the small members. Are you okay with going? You want to stay? All right. Is your parent here? Okay. Is she okay to stay? Just for this song? Yes. It's just a request from me, the nurse, okay? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, yes, please, not through the kitchen. And thank you to everyone who recognized that we are no longer moving through the kitchen, doing service or before service. That way that team can keep that place sanitized. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, here we go. And lights, can I have the house lights? And very, very special thank you to this artist. It's incredible. And his wife was very instrumental in helping him with the lyrics of the song. So enjoy.
I was just a boy, believed what I was taught. Fear the Soviet communists, fear the nuclear bomb. Then as I grew up, I saw a falling wall that goes beyond the red sunset, people after all. Oh, but who among us knew we were told us the truth? So it stung us all when we were told the Russians loved their children too. And us and them, the life we live. And so here we are again, in a war that has no end. The ones we fight, what we say is right, the ones we should defend. That's the fear that fuels the war. By the truth we can't ignore. We know that those beneath the crescent moon are people after all. Oh, but who knew? We've been told it's half the truth. So it shames us all when we are told the Muslims love their children too. And us and them, the life we live.
I'm calling out to all my brothers and sisters, my brothers and sisters around the world. Let's sing together to put an end to the suffering. We are like many branches, all grown from one root. And in spite of our differences, we share a common hope.
In spite of what I need to say, and begin again. No more us and them. Underneath, we're all the same. So 'Cause we know that in my mind one should never.
Regulates. Just put your hand over your heart. You feel that? You are the drum. You are the beat and the vibration of this planet. That heartbeat is sending ripples out into the atmosphere right now. And speaking of awesome ripples, let us introduce you to this one. Those of us who stand, who speak truth, who shout it from the mountaintops so that others may hear, so that we may come together. And so it is.
Us and them, it's a lie we've been told. Right? Yeah. So we breathe that in. Yeah. And we come here to remember the truth. The truth is we are all one. We are all living on one planet together. We all sink or swim together. There is no us and them. Right? There is only all of us. And the spiritual path is really one of, what is it that Ram Dass says? It's a destructive path because it's about unlearning the lies that we've been told and coming back into our truth. Yeah. And so you came here today to hear a very special person speak. And so let me tell you a little bit about Gay Lynn. This is the official description, right? Gay Lynn has created a masterpiece that will grow to be required foundational reading for specialized mental health care workers. For those who are considering including psychedelic therapy in their professional practice, this book is a must. Additionally, for non-professionals who are simply curious about the beneficial use of therapeutic psychedelics, dream interpretations, and rituals, this is an engaging, well-written, informative book that offers plenty of personal, introspective moments. Gay Lynn turned what could have been a dry read into a page-turner. The book is skillfully written in simple terms for the layperson while remaining captivating for individuals who prefer literary depth. She has great compassion, humility, gratitude that is evident throughout the book. It will not disappoint. And on a personal level, Gay Lynn started, you and David, it's been just over a year, maybe a little bit, tiny bit longer. 2 years. But your presence here, I just want to thank you and David, Grigas Consulting. Your presence here has allowed for this place to grow in ways that it probably would not have grown otherwise. Allowed me to be able to step away and let the community emerge in new ways that it would not. You know how that is? Like sometimes the person who's doing a lot of stuff needs to step aside and let other people come and rise. And that's what has happened. We have this most incredible community. And I am so very, very grateful for your friendship, for your mentoring, for your presence at the center. And you all are in for a really great treat here in Gay Lynn today. So, and Danielle. Right. And she's got some really awesome sparkly shoes. Thank you. Be fun to watch.
Good morning. It is so good to be here with you this morning. And I'm really looking forward to this particular topic. Once we get there we go. All right. And as we have been doing each Sunday that I'm speaking, I honor Maria Sabino. And we her picture is up here, and I have lit the candles for Maria Sabina. She is who I have dedicated this book to. And there's a very special reason for that. That is because Maria Sabina helped to bring in the psilocybin mushrooms and help us to use that in a healing therapeutic ritual type of ceremony. But that isn't probably the most significant thing that Maria Sabina has shown me. Maria Sabina grew up in Oaxaca, Mexico. She was a curandero, she was a healer. And so she did her work in this small community, and the mothers and the fathers and the grandmothers and the grandfathers that were ill or sick or in distress in the community came to Maria to help in their healing journey. And so she served this role in the community, and people started to hear about it. And they started to come not only from Oaxaca, but come from all over the world to participate in her healing ceremonies. Now, you would think, right? This is great. Wow, she's not only able to share it in this little community, she was able to share that out in the world. But her little community didn't feel that way. They started talking about her. They started to feel as though they were possibly losing their community because all these new people were coming, and they didn't know these people. And they became angry and frustrated at this little woman who's innocently sharing in these healing ceremonies. And what they did to her, and this is what really inspires me about Maria Sabina. I write about it. I want to read it to you. Maria Sabina suffered. The sacred ritual was exposed to the world, and Maria Sabina suffered for her innocent revelation. At one point, she was put into jail. She was put into jail by the people she had helped to heal. She was put into jail by the people that she helped. And not only that, they burned her house down. They burned her house down. Yes. Yes. And yet, despite that, she had the courage. This is the inspiration. She had the courage to come back out, rebuild her life, and continue to do her healing work that she was called to do. Now, you might say, how? Right? Because we think we have some pressures on us sometimes, but nobody's putting us in jail and nobody's burning down our house. Oh, maybe. Maybe. So what inspires me is that Maria Sabina, she knew, and in her altar, and there's lots of YouTube videos on Maria Sabina, I do highly recommend them, and take a peek. She always had Jesus and Mary on her altar, and she lit the candles each time to remind her, right? She wasn't working for them. You see, she was working for a higher power. She was working for a greater purpose. She was working for spirit in the healing ceremonies. And as I was thinking about this, and you're probably very familiar with this poem, it's called Do It Anyway by Mother Teresa. And it just kind of clicked. That fits so well. And this is the poem. And just to be clear, the poem wasn't actually written by Mother Teresa. It's called The Final Analysis. It was actually given to her by Kent Keith, who was the originator of this poem. But this is her inspiration kind of encapsulated in The Final Analysis. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. Let's say that together. Forgive them anyway. Yeah. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. Let's say that. Be kind anyway. Yes. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. Yes. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the best you've got anyway. Give the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Wow. That's what inspires me about Maria Sabina. She did the good anyway. She succeeded anyway. She shared her healing anyway. That's her inspiration for us and for me. Oh, one side note. This coming year in October, the Association of Transpersonal Psychology, this is not a small, insignificant organization, is having their gathering in Oaxaca, Mexico, in October, which is my birthday. So guess where I'm going to be next year in October? Mexico. I'm going to do the pilgrimage to walk in that, to take that journey. Yes. So this is a new kind of community. The psychedelic experience is a different kind of communion. It's humanistic, experiential, communion between people and community. Not drinking the wine or eating the bread, but touching, experiencing our spiritual natures with each other. The love feast, which communion originally was. Exchanging love and affirming one another. That's what we're here to do. Now, in 1962, in Boston University at the Harvard Divinity School, there was the Good Friday experiment. Now, I mean, many of you probably heard of this. The experience, as described, was a time when they were using the psychedelic medicine to see how it impacted a small community of people. Community ritual was done in Marsh Chapel by Walter Pankey. Now, in 1962, Boston University, as I said, Walter Pankey was a graduate student in theology at Harvard Divinity School, and he designed an experiment under the supervision of Timothy Leary and Richard Alpert, who's Richard Alpert? Ram Dass, right, called the Harvard Psilocybin Project. The experiment was used to assess whether psilocybin mushrooms would function as an entheogen in religiously oriented subjects. Pankey used the placebo of a large dose of niacin, which had some effects of face flushing and feeling hot and tingly, but subsided after the first hour. Whereas the subjects taking the psilocybin, the experience intensified over the first few hours. Now, all the subjects of the test group taking the psilocybin described having a mystical and profound religious experience. And one of the participants, you may be very familiar with, was Huston Smith. Later described his experience as the most powerful cosmic homecoming I have ever experienced. The subjects described the feelings of an interpersonal dynamic in the group. There was this opening to this empathic and intuitive sensing of the group and community in which where there was a sense of communion, of understanding and affection for one another. The group dynamics were described as a beautiful experience. Now, the 12-step groups, of which I have been a part of for the last 30 years, are very much similar to that kind of community experience. They're a community of people who connect with this sharing on a spiritual path of recovery. And going to a 12-step meeting can be an experience of being in a field of energy and community that is healing. Now, think about this for a minute. In the meetings, there can be a sharing of unconditional acceptance, something rarely experienced outside of the meetings for the person in recovery. It takes a willingness to attend a meeting and step into a circle of people who accept without judgment because they know and have walked in the same shoes. I want to talk about this a little bit because I've worked for the last 30 years in the recovery movement and with people on this journey and in my own journey as well. So there is a part of community that can be really supportive. But see, this is a relationship with self and community. So the relationship with self means that I could have a community of people around me, but I have to be willing to receive, right? I have to receive what the community has to share. So I was working in this was a number of years ago, I was working in a drug and alcohol treatment center in Delray Beach, which was kind of like a mecca at that time of people just coming in and going out and coming in and going out of Delray Beach, and in this huge, kind of recovery center. So it was a young man, he was about 21 years old, and he was sitting in the group, and you could see his legs were going like this. And to me, that is not a good sign. Why? His body is already running. And I was like, oh gosh. So he said, I'm leaving treatment. I was like, no, please, just hear us out, right? We're in a group, we're in a circle, let the community pour into you, be receptive. He literally sat in the group like this. And for me, I'm always praying while I'm doing all the work that I do. That connection to a power greater than myself is how I work. It's not through me. See, that's how Sabina survived, right? She wasn't doing it. It was coming through her. I'm not doing it. It's coming through me. So we talked to him. We begged. We pleaded. We cried. We uplifted him up. But in the end, he left treatment. And within 24 hours, he was dead. He just had a baby, came from a really good family who supported him in treatment, but he left and he died. And the family had to come in, and as he was on respirator, just life supports, and they had to pull the plug. Devastating. So the whole community obviously was affected by this, right? And that night, and remember, it's called Psychedelics Dreams. See, dreams are our way of connecting, right? Connecting to ourselves, connecting to a power greater than ourselves, and connecting us to a community. That night, I had a dream. The young man came to me in my dreams. And in the dream, he had no eyes and he had no ears. And he said to me, I did not have the eyes to see or the ears to hear. And I'm sorry. And I gave that message because I felt very guided to the whole community. I said, we have to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, which is one of the messages that Jesus gives us. When he's talking about the parables, he said you have to have the ears to hear and the eyes to see, because if you don't, you won't get the message. So we can withhold from ourselves to our own demise. So David Hawkins, who we've talked about, Cindy's talked about quite a bit, he talks about the energetic field, the electromagnetic field that we enter into when we come into community. And just hear this. Thoughts have a certain electromagnetic energy form. When we sit in the presence of people who have solved life's problems that we are confronting, their inner accomplishment influences us non-verbally, so that our lower level energy is replaced by a higher thought form. That higher thought form sees the problem as an excellent opportunity. What we saw as loss before the meeting, now we see as gain because of the nonverbal transmission. The facts have not changed, but how we view the situation has changed because the level of consciousness shifted. The shift occurred not because of the words spoken, but by being in the presence of the aura of loving people whose energy field carries the higher wisdom. Simply put, we are either positively or negatively influenced by the company we keep. It is unlikely that we will overcome a problem if we choose to be in the company of others who have the same problem. Keep good company. Turn to someone on your right or your left and say, keep good company. Remember this. Makes a huge difference. Now, another part of this is also disclosure and honesty in community. The sharing part in a group and community is also a kind of ritual. There's no doubt that there's a strong psychological effect when you share things with other people, like our Circle Sundays that we do here. It is the cathartic effect that is well documented, whether you're talking about the Catholic confession or group therapy, psychoanalysis, or anything else. The sharing itself is a ritual. I've experienced community sacred space, which I think accelerates the process. When using a psychedelic or non-ordinary state requires a lot of trust. But in many cases, people are so ready to have the experience, it doesn't even occur to them that trust is an essential component. They just wanted it. They're hungry for it. They're thirsty for it. Creating trust and holding the container for trust is an important part of sacred space. So I have another story that I want to share, and this was also from my work in recovery. In a treatment center. This attorney came in, and he was a part of my group, and he's given, obviously all these people gave me permission to share their stories because I have them in the book, and everything I'm sharing with you is in the book. So the attorney came in and, super highly kind of intellectual, had to think about something before he felt it. Very disconnected from his own emotions. And as a result of that, the disconnect from your emotions. Remember, and this is just a little side note, emotions equal energy in motion. If we disconnect from our emotions, what are we also disconnecting from? Our energy and ourself. And we can become more and more and more and more disconnected. And as a result of that disconnection, That's that space where addictions and numbing out and everything kind of comes in. So we were doing a group. I had angel cards. He pulled an angel card, and it was creativity. And in that creativity, I said, why don't you, write something? And he goes, I used to write poetry. I haven't written in a very long time, and I'm gonna give it a shot. And we had just done a burning bowl ceremony, which we're coming to the end of the year. Burning bowl ceremony is a wonderful ceremony of release. We write things down, we put it in the burning bowl. It's a cleansing, clearing experience. So we did the burning bowl, he got the creativity card, and he wrote this poem. He wrote the poem in one sitting. So I'm going to share that poem with you. And remember, he's in recovery for alcoholism. I've been playing the game for many years, sitting shoulder to shoulder at the bar with the other players as the hands are dealt to us in the smoky gloom wrapped in glass. At first, I would win a pot or two, raking in some smiles, laughter, and fun. The dealer grinned and poured me another card. He was patient because he worked for the house, and he knew the house can never lose. As the cards got worse, I held my hand closer to my heart so others could not see while I bet pieces of my soul and the tears of those I loved on a losing hand. Other players would win a pot or two, and I would envy their brief bit of joy. But the game was no longer one of chance. The odds had flown, and there was but one end. Then I was told, you cannot win the game, but through God, you no longer have to play. So I brought my losing cards from my heart, and I let others see the weak hand I had held, upon which I had wagered and lost so much. Before the honest flame of their caring hearts, my precious cards twisted into the black and brittle shapes they had always been. And so he continued. It wasn't until I actually reading the poem out loud in the group. Now listen to this. When I read the poem in the group, the emotions surged up. It totally caught me by surprise. I got choked up and cried. It was the first time I had felt any emotions in a very long time. I had felt none while I was writing it. It was when I was reading it out loud and essentially sharing it within the group that the emotions came up. When I was alone, maybe you think it would be the opposite way around, that I would have the emotion when I was alone and not have it when I was reading with people. That's not the way it was at all. It totally caught me by surprise. I hadn't realized, I knew I was describing how I felt, but it was like looking at a sunset. I wasn't participating in the feelings at the time I was describing. I don't know how to explain it. They were my feelings, but I wasn't feeling them. They were filtered. But I actually felt the emotions when I read it to the group, and it caught me completely by surprise. And essentially, I think what I felt was, for the first time, I felt the pain of my addiction. And I didn't realize, I know that I didn't like it, but I didn't realize how big the pain was. I think that was essentially the emotion I was feeling, the pain part of it. That's what really got me. And of course, I'm not used to feeling feelings, so that kind of surprised me too. Wow. Just breathe into that for a minute. So the group was what the experience of that group and them holding him in that sacred space allowed for the safety for his heart to open. And those numbed out, frozen feelings that had been stuffed down for decades to emerge and come to the surface. Then he had access to them. Then he could do something with them. And as far as I know, and I stayed in touch with him for years after, he remains clean and sober to this day. I love that ending, right? We have to have the compare and contrast. Here's one that didn't listen. Here's one that did listen. You get it? We can do this the easy way or the hard way. And we get to choose. Now, what happens is that the ritual and the sharing experience really helps to dissolve layers of personality that can separate us at times, like walls or partitions between us. Ritual and community can help melt away the walls and disintegrate the perceived barriers and boundaries between us. One of my friends described it this way: I think ritual work really helped dissolve those layers of personality and bring us to a different level of appreciation of one another and a different level of relating to one another. Now, Stan Groff talks about this in his book, The Cosmic Game, and this is how he puts it. Although the unitive process can be observed throughout all domains of existence, they are particularly rich and complex in human beings. Here, they can also be studied most directly and systematically in the form of transpersonal experiences. By the way, Stan was one of the founders of the Association of Transpersonal Psychology. Unfortunately, Western psychiatry does not differentiate between mysticism and psychosis. Listen to this. And tends to treat mystical experiences of any kind as manifestations of mental disease. I have met during my professional career, he's an MD, many people who received pathological labels, tranquilizing medication, and even shock therapy because they had experienced unity with other people, nature, the cosmos, and God. Woo! We're telling the truth. We're speaking the truth. That's it. And that is what has happened. Joseph Campbell said, the psychotic drowns in the waters that the mystic swims in. You get it? Yes. The psychotic drowns in the waters that the mystic swims in. So, Groff was after. We got to keep going. We're keeping up. But I do want to, yes. Abraham Maslow, the late American psychologist who played a key role in the founding of both humanistic and transpersonal psychology, interviewed hundreds of people who had spontaneous unitive states or peak experiences, as he called them. He was able to show that mystical experiences are not indications of pathology and do not belong in the handbooks of psychiatry. They often occur in people who do not have any serious emotional problems and would otherwise be considered normal by standard psychological criteria. Moreover, if these experiences occur in supportive setting, where we're at right now, and well integrated, which we do right here, and we're going to do today at 1 o'clock. Moreover, if these experiences occur in a supportive setting and well integrated, they can have beneficial consequences and result in better functioning, higher creativity, and self-actualization. So the separateness dissolves, the partitions drop away that are normally between us. And Groff and Maslow both describe what often does happen in non-ordinary states of consciousness with community. This unitive experience, this connectedness is always present, yet often unperceived. The energetic field beyond the personal that leads to peak experiences of the transpersonal, whether in rituals, psychedelic medicine ceremonies, drumming, or circle work in small communities. All these connective, unitive experiences can have many benefits as described by leading to a sense of actualizing more of oneself in the oceanic oneness and the allness of community. I have another story that I want to share with you, just a brief story. I was, one of my earlier books that I wrote with my late husband, David Williamson, and Dr. Robert Knapp is called 12 Powers in You. And we did a 14-part video series that accompanied the book. And this was decades ago. And so there was a priest in the community. His name was Father Sean, and Father Sean did prison ministry. And so for prison ministry, Father Sean would take the videos and he would play one of the videos while he was in the prison, and they would talk about it. You know, what does it mean to have our power? And what powers do we have? How do we actualize those powers in our life? So Father Sean had gone there over a period of years because this was part of the work that he was doing. And there was a young man that was sitting in that circle. And he was watching these videos with Father Sean. Well, the time came when the man finally was going to be released from prison. And he remembered, you know, Father Sean really put an emphasis on how important it is for us to have our own spiritual life and our own spiritual path. So I'm going to go to church today. And so, you know, he gets up, he's fresh out of prison, he gets his nicest clothes on, and he goes into this church, and he sits down in the Sunshine Cathedral in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and guess who's speaking? Me. Unitive experience. Unitive experience, you see. He walked in, and he was like this. You're here. It's like, I don't know this man. I said, yeah, I'm here. He goes, but you don't understand. You were with me in prison. I said, you must know Father Sean. I said, yes. That's the unitive experience. Now, just because I really wanted the work not to be lost, I took those videos and I broke them down into 3 to 5 minute segments. And if you go to take a picture of this, 12powersinyou.com, the 12 spelled out, all that is saved as a legacy teaching, particularly to my late husband, and honoring the work that we had done. So it's all there. And I think there's like hours and hours, but it's all chunked down because I know how we are today. We only want to watch something for 3 to 5 minutes. So I had them edited down into small chunks and small bites. Psychedelic integration circles are very important because we can have the experience, but we have to integrate the experience. Others who have touched the ineffable numerosity of an energetic imprint of the experience on the innermost parts of their beings. There are more psychedelic integration circles that are emerging and becoming part of many communities. And in these circles, people meet with one another on the path, and they have had their own experience with psychedelics and plant medicines or other kinds of non-ordinary states through meditation, through drumming, sometimes through near-death experiences as well. There's a variety of ways these non-ordinary states can emerge in our life. They share and understand one another's story of the medicine journey and what is being experienced. Now, one of the people that I am very impressed by is Amanda Fielding. She's the founder and director of the Beckley Foundation. And Amanda has been called the hidden hand behind the renaissance of psychedelic science and her contribution to global drug policy reform. Amanda was first introduced to LSD in the mid-60s at the height of the first wave of psychedelic research. into psychedelics. And Amanda was impressed by LSD's capacity to initiate mystical states of consciousness and heighten creativity. She quickly recognized its transformative and therapeutic power. Here's me with Amanda. I met her in the Netherlands in 2022. She's a duchess, so she came into wealth, and she decided this is the way she was going to use her wealth and her influence in the world. She showed a picture, and some of you have heard me refer to this, of a 90-plus-year-old woman who was in the last stages of dementia. She couldn't recognize any of her family members. She had no memory. Her quality of life was greatly diminished. And with permission, Amanda was allowed to share with her team a microdose of LSD with this woman. And with that microdose of LSD, her brain came back online. And it was like waking up from a deep sleep. And she looked around, she greeted people by name, she started telling old stories again, and she became more present. So this was really fascinating, because look at the Alzheimer's and dementia problems that we're dealing with in our culture today. So is there this faint hope of possibility that perhaps something as simple that's always been a part of our life and been a part of our culture, but in the underground world, may have some legitimacy? In Amanda's words, she believes that LSD is the queen of all substances and may have the possibility of regenerating brain activity in ways we only are beginning to understand. She is interested in studying brain regeneration, particularly in dementia-related cases with individuals. This is probably the most significant picture. This is a brain imaging, and you see the scan prior to the introduction of the LSD, the psilocybin, because these studies have been repeated time and time again. And now the connectivity with the brain imaging after. So this is your brain before, and this is your brain after. That was not the message we were given. You see? And so Amanda's work is validating this truth. So Stan Groff spoke at the Conference of Psychedelic Science in 2017, and he shared an overview of what he observed as a result of using psychedelics, and I put a highlight over this: responsibly. I am not talking about education or recreational use. I'm talking about therapeutic use in setting that has been curated in a very particular way. These are the highlights of the list of his observations on the benefits of non-ordinary states. Notice how many connect with a larger sense of positive community and connections being enhanced. Significant decrease in aggression and emergence of compassion. Development of racial, sexual, political, and religious tolerance. Inner peace, improved self-image, self-acceptance. Competitiveness replaced by synergy, cooperation, wu-wei. Shift of focus from the past and future to the present moment. It increased the zest of the love of life, of appreciation of beauty, and enjoying everyday activities, people, nature, music, food, lovemaking. Increased creativity, self-realization, self-actualization, reduction of irrational drives and ambitions, love of nature, an emergency of great ecological sensitivity, a sense of belonging to humanity, and planetary citizenship. What Buckminster Fuller called spaceship Earth, from the experiences of the astronauts looking back on Earth. Emergence of spiritual spirituality of universal, non-denominational, non-sectarian, all-encompassing, all-inclusive, and mystical in nature. These are some of the things that we have right here. They're right here. We're touching on that, the hem of that right now. So, what I want you to do, just after all this sharing that I've done, I want you to think about right now and kind of come into that heart space. One of the rituals in the book is called the heart to heart, and only the person with the heart gets to talk. And so think about in your own heart, what community has meant to you? How community has helped you and supported you? And I want you to turn to someone on your right or your left and just briefly share with a partner one way the community, this community, your recovery community, your drumming circle, whatever that might be for you, could be your bowling league, all right? It still counts, all right? Has helped and supported you. So you share with a partner and a partner shares with you. Just take a couple minutes to do a little bit of sharing. I'll be happy to answer. Okay, make sure each person has had a chance to share. Okay, let's begin to wind those conversations down, please. Bring that to sharing to a close. Oop. The slides after this. Oop. There was a number of slides after that. There we go. All right. So This has been a spectacular journey, and I cannot thank Reverend Cindy Grimes and the spiritual community here at the Center for Spiritual Living for having me and hosting me over this year as we've taken this journey together to understand a little bit more about psychedelics, rituals, ceremony, and dreams. So, and I really honor that because this isn't going to happen in every gathering place, right? There isn't an openness or receptivity yet. Yet. But we are going to see this emerging and growing. I think that it's the fullness of time. And so next month will be the last Sunday that I will be doing this series. So the series will come to a close on the fourth Sunday of December, the 22nd, and I'm going to talk about rituals and recovery and endings and new beginnings. And I also want to recognize and thank my husband, David Grigas, because he's been so instrumental in supporting me through this journey and helping me with the book and helping me with the work that we're doing here with Grigas Consulting. And I want to thank you for the prayer support that you've given both of us during this time. David has had a series of surgeries on his eye, which many of you know about. And unfortunately, those surgeries have not culminated in any kind of successful recovery. And so he has lost the vision in the one eye. And we had just learned over the last week that if we can't get the pressure down, he may lose the eye altogether. So this has really been tough, to really kind of walk through this together. Anytime we have any loss, even a loss of a body part, we're going to go through grief, right? Shock, anger, denial, bargaining, depression, acceptance. So we're walking through that grief together. And he's on very limited activity, can't pick up over 4 pounds, can't bend over, lower stress levels. So as a result of that, I'm going to be scaling back in my practice, scaling back in my work so that I can be of help and support to him, and I can be of help and support to myself during this season, not forever, during this season of our lives. So I just want you to know that. So it's not like, where did they go? I want you to know we walk our talk. You can't just talk the talk. And so during these difficult times, sometimes we need to have a respite. We need to rejuvenate ourselves. And so you'll see that happening over the next months. I will be here in December, and I'm just saying, if you wanted to do an inner healer retreat, this is it. Because you either come to this one or it's not going to be for a number of months now. And so that'll be my time to renew and regenerate. I'm working full throttle till the end of the year, and then I'm taking the entire month of January off. Yes. Thank you for honoring and supporting me and David in this. So we do it right here. It's beautiful. If you have already been with us on journeys, please come back and do this again. And do we have one space? 2 spaces left for Jamaica. And so this is coming up.
Actually have a 3rd space that opened up. Yes. So here's the thing, you guys. As we get colder and colder into the months, there's something about the tropics. And I have never experienced New Year's Eve in my island home like this. And so that's why we decided our wellness journey would take us there. And then we decided to hang out with Galen and her people. And I'm telling you, we have those 3 rooms available. Please, please, if you want to go to this experience, lock it in. All you need is your deposit to get it locked in. And that way you can secure your space and then get your plane ticket. Because the prices of those tickets are going up, up, up. Again, months are getting colder, which means people are flocking to Negril. And so you want to go ahead and get that. If you've been like, oh my gosh, I want to go. You absolutely have to have a passport. You have to have a passport in order to travel there. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Donna. So please see Donna and let her know that you're interested.
Yeah.
Now, the really cool thing
And it
about
is
Jamaica,
medicine. Yeah. we were
the really
medicine.
cool thing about Jamaica is that we are able to use psilocybin legally in Jamaica. And so it will be, and the tradition of Maria Sabina using the psilocybin mushrooms as a part of our rite of passage into the new year. So please come and join us. I do have some books out. If you want to get one for a gift for the holidays for someone, I'd be happy to personalize that for you. There's more information. You can keep up with me on gaylin.net. You'll see all the upcoming events and things. And there's really wonderful free meditations that you have access to. Meditations to help you with your dream life, meditations to help you with your integration. And so please look at gaylin.net. And finally, and this is a joy, again, how many spaces in the sacred community and that do we have these psychedelic integration circles? We have it here. And Daniel, if you just stand for a minute, please. Daniel is going to be facilitating the integration circle. I am thrilled to see, to pass the baton, right, to young people who are informed and educated themselves and working to heal and uplift the community and hold sacred space. So please, Daniel is going to be meeting with you today for the integration circle. Are you going to be inside or outside? Okay, so we're going to meet inside, probably in my office. All right, thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much. And I want to thank each and every one of you for the love, for the support, for your care, for your joy, for your laughter, for your tears, and for this journey that we have been taking together. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yay.
Thank you so much, Gaylin. Oh my goodness, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. I kept telling people, I'm like, do you understand? We have the author in-house. The author of the book is here explaining the book to us in person, like fabulous, right? So when we go out and we tell people, I'm like, oh, my friend, Gaylin. It's usually what I'm saying, my friend, Gaylin. It feels nice, right? Because I know that I can pick your brain at any moment, which is wonderful. I always have questions. So I wanted to share with you guys the reason why we chose this music today, because we're talking about connectivity and oneness. And in the world, there is movement happening on a global stage. And this particular movement is music as medicine again. And these people are actually connecting people all over the globe via music. And so we are going to be joining them today. And as they are doing this, they are creating amazing albums with these musicians. Some of them don't even speak the same language, but yet they play together, songs that they, inspire them, which reggae music has a lot of those songs. Bob Marley was a pioneer for bringing our music out there. And now we get to join Playing for Change. Feel free to listen to their music, pop it on YouTube, let it play in the background. It's a merging of music all around the world, and just enjoy after these short commercial break. Yes, and if I could have the kids come out, this is when the kids can dance around, and feel free to dance around if you have wiggles. And pay attention to where these people are, because it shows you on the screen. And you know the song, come on, man.
Sometimes in our life, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. If we are always tomorrow, lean on me. We are not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long. You're gonna need somebody to lean on. You need to no one can feel these are your dreams. She won't get you. You just talk on the brother. We don't need to lean on. You do the that you say, yo, somebody lean on.
Regulate your system. We teach it to our babies from now. Bring down that cortisol level. The world is prickly, y'all.
Somebody to lean. We don't need somebody to lean on. You have to bear. Carry. Right. I'm right up. I'm a carry you low.
Great job, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the children. Yes, we're going to go ahead and do our blessing to our children so that way they can go outside and enjoy the day. So we are going to thank so much to the tech team back there for being as flexible as they are. Just a little bit of thought around that is that for Playing for Change, if you support that movement, go on YouTube, click on their link, buy the music, share the music, dance to the music, raise the vibration of the planet, because this music, actually, all that money goes towards creating, music programs, buying instruments into remote areas where music may not be available to these villages, and also to youth everywhere, because music really does help you regulate. So thank you so much for that. And now we're going to be blessing our little guys, the smallest community members. Here we go. Rub it together, amp up your energy, just beam love at them as they go out into the playgrounds with their friends. They're doing this. And we say together, we honor you. We see your light. May it shine on all that you do. And so it is now. Turn it within. Come on now. That little person never went anywhere. They're still there, hanging out. And you're just going to go within and just, I honor you. I see our light. May it shine on all that we do. And so it is. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Very good. What an awesome service. Thank you, Gaylin. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joyful Noise and Donna and our children. So, this is the time when we celebrate our abundance. We invite you to give. I hope that you have received something today that is worthwhile for you. And so we take this moment to kind of prime the pump. Hello. All right, y'all. Time for us to do our affirmation. I'm going to invite you to say it along with me. It is the nature of life to give of itself, as it is the tree's nature to bear fruit and the flower's nature to bloom. It is my nature to share the gifts of my time, talent, and treasure. I participate in the divine flow of life, giving generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed and I am a blessing and I am grateful. And so it is. Isn't that wonderful? Y'all say that to yourselves. I am blessed and I am a blessing. I am so grateful. Just over and over. Let it be your mantra. So has that gone around yet? It's going to go around. Okay, great. We have prayer request slips here. Christina's got and Dalton. For anybody who may be going through a challenge, if you want to let us know what it is, you can put your name on it or not. If you want to be contacted, we would be glad to reach out to you. But there is power in prayer. It's one of the reasons that we come together in community, right? There is more power behind what we do when two or more of us are gathered. So I just invite you to give. We are a freestanding center. You know, we are part of a larger organization, but we exist because of the giving of this organization, of the people that are part of this organization. So that's how we keep the electricity on, right? That's how we pay for our maintenance. That's how we pay our minister and our speakers and all the great stuff that happens here. So I invite you to give and to be generous. Yes, and if you're not giving here, give someplace. You know, you've got to keep that. That's how you keep the pump primed, by giving. You give what you want to receive. If it's money that you need, you give money. If it's friendship, you be a friend. Whatever it is that you give is like planting seed and it comes back to you, pressed down and multiplied. So, are we ready? There are lots of ways that you can give. If you don't have your checkbook or cash, you can also give online. Once this number is programmed into your phone, it's very simple. You put the amount of money that you want to send the center, and it goes right from your bank account to ours. And that's the number there, the text to tithe. Or you can go to cslocala.org and go that way. Or you can go in the little vestibule area there and swipe your card. We can take money in all kinds of ways, and we're glad to do it. And so I'll just take this moment, turn your attention within, and we just give gratitude for this time that we've shared together, for the wonderful message that we have received, for the love, the laughter, the joy, and for knowing that the days ahead of us are just light-filled and wonderful for each and every one of us. So I give thanks for those who are here today. I give thanks for those prayer requests, knowing that the answer to each and every prayer already exists in the mind of spirit, and that it is manifesting in this moment for the very highest and best for all involved. And so I release these words with joy and gratitude, that knowing that it is already done. And we say, and so it is. All right. All righty. So what's going on at the Center for Spiritual Living? There's so much stuff here. Today, this evening, what time is that? 5 o'clock? After all these other things that are happening. I know I think we've got a shower today. We've got the integration circle, and then there's a feast. So there's food cooking back there, but that's at 5 o'clock today if you want to come back. If you're not part of a family or community, come and spend your Thanksgiving, your celebration with us here today. What else? Oh, this evening, anybody live out there in Top of the World area? You know, there's a place called the Tree of Life Sanctuary, where there are Christians and Jews that meet together. It's really a state-of-the-art and amazing, incredible facility. And they are having an interfaith Thanksgiving service, and I have been asked to be one of the presenters. So it'd be wonderful to have some of our folks from our community represented at this event that is going to be an interfaith event starting at 7 o'clock tonight at the Tree of Life Sanctuary. And they also ask that people bring an unwrapped toy so they can give it to Toys for Tots. So it'd be a wonderful thing to have a great showing from CSL Ocala. And then Sunday, December 1st, is our volunteer appreciation service. I love that we've talked about community today and the importance of that, because this place would not exist if we were not here as community, right? And we exist because of the giving of the people that share of their time, their talent, and their treasure in so many ways, so many ways. So we want to recognize the folks that are giving to this center the December 1st. So we invite you to come and find out what's going on and also how you can plug in and be part of this really dynamic and exciting community. That is what we are doing for our Sunday practices. So let me give you a little explanation, especially for those of you who are here for the first time. Every week is a little bit different focus. So the first week of the month, we focus on a spiritual practice that goes with whatever the theme happens to be for the month. And we are going into another year. I'm super excited about this. Our theme for next year is going to be Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. That is the inward focus. And then the outward focus is going to be creating the beloved community. Like, that is what we are here to do, and that is what we are going to investigate and study and practice and live next year. So super excited about that. So first Sunday is practices. Second Sunday is a more traditional Sunday, what people are used to when they go to church. You know, there's a talk, kind of like today, there's a talk, there's music, more traditional. So that's our second Sunday. And then third Sunday is Circle Sunday. And that is where we take the topic and we give a short overview, and then we break out into small groups. And we have circle style discussions. So it expands everyone's understanding and awareness and capacity for these different things that we're talking about, because you get to see the idea from other people's eyes. You know, we all have this experience of oneness, but it doesn't feel like oneness, does it? Right? We all have different opinions, different ideas, and what Circle Sunday does is it grows everybody's understanding of these things. So it's lots of fun. And fourth Sunday has been Galen and Psychedelics, Dreams, and Rituals, but that will not be happening next year. I believe what we're going to do for next year is more of a panel type discussion around this idea of creating the beloved community. So stay tuned. It's going to be really fun and exciting. December 21st of this month, we have our holiday variety show. We've got lots of great talent in this center. So if you want to participate, is there someone they should contact? Norma. Awesome. Yeah, it'll be great fun. 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, December 21st. And what else? That's the last one. We talked about that. Very good. December 22nd, the next day. Okay. Fabulous. Our annual meeting, we have to let you know, I think by our bylaws, with 90 days notice or something like that. So 25 days. Okay. Well, there you go. Less than 90. Anyway, the annual meeting will be February 2nd, and that's where you'll find kind of the State of the Union, what's going on at the center, how you can plug in, where we're headed, and I don't know, whatever else is wanting to come up for that meeting. Questions, answers, anything else? It's not. Okay, did I skip something? The newsletter. Okay. Yes, Daniel. Community garden. You want to talk about that? Come here's a mic.
So I'm putting together a group to plan a community garden. I have flyers on the table right there. So if that's something that would interest anyone, please grab a flyer. There's a QR code with the form where you can put up your availability, etc. So I hope to hear from some of you.
Thank you, Daniel. We've been talking about a community garden for years, but every project needs a champion. And so Daniel has stepped up and said, I want to be the champion of that. So please join us. I'm so excited to be growing food here and herbs and all kinds of wonderful stuff. So if you've got a green thumb, if you're interested, if you'd like to learn, That's your person over there. The newsletter comes out once a month. And if you are interested in receiving it, you could sign up online. You can sign up over there on the table. There's a sign up list. The newsletters are linked to our website and also our Facebook page. We've had some glitches with getting it out via MailChimp, but hopefully that is resolved. And what's next? What's that?
Follow us on social
Okay.
media. If you have a social media presence, please, if you see our information, if you see the talks go live, share it, push it out on your page. We have to press the algorithm with something different than the stuff they're trying to send us. So we will send out love and light and connectivity through this. So please send it out. And we've been doing this and we are reaching past into other countries. Other people are watching us and getting, the message and being reminded of how awesome we all are.
We have over 12,000 people following us. 15, we're up to 15.
18,000
18.
people.
What?
And this is something because it's an organic reach. We don't pay for this. Sometimes you can pay for followers and things like that. This is all the effort of that tech team back there and marketing and all of that. So I'm telling you, these people have been just loving. So send it out, man.
When we said back in 2015, hashtag 5,000, I was like, wow, that's
was
a
funny.
nice idea, but how are we going to do that? Like, really, I was like, how is that going to happen? And here we are at 15. So be part of 18. So be part of the visioning. Be part of the visioning. And who knows what we can hit next year for 2025 and beyond. Right? Imagine all of this love and light being beamed out, which is what the world needs today. Right?
And we
It's
did
what
go,
I need.
And we did go hybrid. So again, the more you send this out, the more the algorithm will send you more things like it. The same thing with the music. The more you listen to that on your Spotify, the more you get more suggestions. We find each other and we just cast a net of love over this entire planet. That's really all we're doing, creating this beautiful net of love.
Yes. I wanted to say back to that inward and outward facing look. We know, and I'm sure everybody in here has been a spiritual seeker probably for years. You can read the books on your own, you can do the work. You have to do the inner work. But there is some learning and some growth that can only happen in community. Right? The inner journey is only part of it. The rubber meets the road when you get in the messiness of life. And that's what we're here to do, to support one another in that part of our journeys. And hopefully whatever it is that you learn that you take away from here then ripples out, right, to your family experiences and to your workplace and your neighborhood, as I said when we first got here. So keep that in mind. There's reason to come together in spiritual community. There is healing that can only happen in spiritual community. Think about those wounds that you got as a child, maybe that were in a group, right? When the teacher said you can't sing or you're not a good artist. Those things that stick with you, that will stay with you until it is healed and released in community. So there's a very real and good purpose for us coming together. So volunteer opportunities, that is a wonderful way to plug into our community and find out who's who and get more connected. And Cole back there is our volunteer coordinator. If you want to go ahead and scan that QR code, it will take you to the application. And what else? We blessed our children.
Yes. And I just have one announcement to make. Speaking of community, one of the things that Norma and I have done in our professional world as a registered nurse, I'm also an interfaith minister with Alliance of Divine Love and an esthetician. And we created not just a day spa, but a wellness center for people to connect to their wellness in a natural way. And this calls to other communities who are connecting to wellness in a natural way. And so we have called to us Kat and Matt and the Freedom Family Band, and they requested to be under Grandmother Tree presenting music. And they're going to be doing that on this Saturday. And I'm just putting a shout out to anybody who would love to come into our wellness space and feel our agape love and the medicine that is that wellness center. It is right there in downtown Ocala. And so it is a campfire concert with a healthy potluck, Saturday the 30th, which is this Saturday. And we are inviting you to arrive by 4 p.m. and the music is at 5. And they have a sliding scale tickets of $20 to $30. It's a conscious exchange. But if something says I want to be there, come. You never know. Someone may be led to pay that for you. You just don't know what the universe has in store. So just be led and then just come. And just being in community. And I'm telling you, Kat is a very gifted vocal coach. And to listen to her use her instrument like that, you will be changed. I'm telling you. And they're very good at pulling in that love. And we get to sing together and vibe together by the campfire at Your Phoenix is Rising. All right. Awesome. And I believe Matt and Kat will be there. Your Phoenix is Rising. It's on downtown Ocala, 1214 East Silver Springs Boulevard. It's right next to the Methodist Church, the big Methodist church there. Yeah, it's our wellness center. See me if you need more details and directions this Saturday.
Excellent. Did we get all our announcements in? Going once, going twice.
Oh, there's one more. Sorry. I know. She came up to me and whispered to me, Karen, and the wonderful people in the food and beverage team have been diligently working on a lunch for us today. It is not the potluck that is going to be here later. They are feeding us right now. So for those of you who are hungry, this is their gift and they love to give this. This is their love language, and I lovingly accept that. We're also asking if everyone walks through the library area and comes around and collects their food that way. We're going to allow the volunteers to go first. This way we know that they're fed. All right?
So we'll go ahead and bless the food.
Yes, we bless the
Ready?
food. Y'all ready? All right. Put your snappers up. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. We thank you, God, for giving the things we need for living, the food, the fun, the friendship, the CSL family. Da 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 da. Neat. Da 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 da. Sweet. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Let's eat.
Right after the prayer for protection.
The
light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And so it is.
Have
Thank
a
you guys
fabulous
so
week,
much.
everyone.
If you see any children trying to go that way, just gently push them this way. It takes a village.